the material we've learned in the previous chapter, we're now going to create a simple InfoCast. Let's open a new InfoCast and call it Simple InfoCast. This InfoCast is 16:9 landscape format with a screen resolution 1280 by 768. The first thing we are going to do is create a still object as the background. It's probably easiest to position the object as 0 pixels from the left, 0 pixels from the top, with a width of 1280 and a height of 768, matching the resolution we are building for. Double-click on the still to go to the item library. Select Graphic Importer from the drop-down menu and navigate to the tutorial folder. Select the JPEG file Background 001. Click on the preview window to see the file, and then hit Open. Click Save when finished, and we are back in the item library. Click on Regions in the top bar to take us back to our page layout. Now, notice that our created region only shows the original box we created with the word Still and the camera icon. To see the region as created, select Regions in the menu bar and then select Preview All Regions, or use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-Alt-R while on the region screen. To see the file as it will appear, select Show Page Without Adornments from the Regions menu, or hold down Ctrl-Alt-A. Now viewing the background, we can see that there are logical areas laid out for content. Pre-built backgrounds from programs like Photoshop can help us to create a more professional-looking InfoCast. There is a sample folder in the Harris Program file directory that provides you with a number of backgrounds to start with. They can be used to help you with your InfoCast creation or provide you with ideas for your own background creation. The background we've already selected from our tutorial directory has been pre-built for a crawl, video, stills, date and time, and a title. Let's use it to build an InfoCast that has a New York theme. The first thing we will do is bring the video in and place it. We will draw the video box so that it leaves a border around the video area. Double-click on the video object, select Video Clip Quick Editor, click Add, and then navigate to the Times Square file. We can click in the preview area in the browser to see a still from this file. This file is in widescreen format, 960 by 540, and will need to be scaled to fit. Select Scale, and then, because the video is the same aspect ratio as the box we've drawn, we can click the Best Fit button to position and size the video. Click Save and then Regions from the menu bar to return to the layout. We will now select the Still tool and draw an object on the transparent box to the right of the video, again, leaving some space around the edge for a border. Double-click the object. As Graphic Importer is already selected in the item library, click Add and navigate to the New York Stills folder in the tutorial folder. Select all the stills and click Open. We can move the image around in the preview box. Please notice that anything we do to this image in terms of scaling or position will be done to all the images we have brought in together. Click Scale and then reposition the stills for the box. Click Save and InfoCaster will save these images as new files with this InfoCast. Moving or deleting the original files will not impact the created InfoCast. Now, I should have named this object when I was creating it, so I'll select it in the region's layout. And in the bottom pane of the InfoCast display, we will now name it New York Stills. There is no set order in which we create the objects in this layout. I'm simply bringing them into the InfoCast in a manner that fits the layout. Let's add the time and date next. We'll use an analog clock for the time and a digital clock for the date. We will add the date box first, above the New York Stills. Select the digital clock quick editor and click Add. Deselect Show Time, select Show Prefix, and we will choose the day, month, date format from the drop-down menu. Select the Formatting tab in this window and choose the attributes that are appropriate to the background. When we are happy with the look and feel, click Save. Select Regions to go back to the layout, and then from the Regions drop-down menu in the top bar, select Show Page Without Adornments to see how our day and date look over the background. Or, use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-Alt-A to preview without adornments while we hold the keys down. Click OK to return to the Regions menu with adornments. Now we will add the analog clock. Select the analog clock tool. Draw the object above the day and date. Click Add, and browse to the bullet div clock. Select the bullet div NTSC clock and click Open. Scale the clock to fit in the preview window. and then click on the clock within the window to position it. We can also use the numeric position controls for more exact placement. We will adjust the opacity of this clock to make it a little more transparent. Click Save. Click the Regions button to return to the layout and hit the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-Alt-A to preview the layout without adornments. Now, let's use the Stills tool again to add a title. We'll place it at the top above the video. In the Items menu, select Title Quick Editor, adding the text in the text box, New York City. We click the Formatting tab to adjust the look of the title. Because we want it to stand out on the background, we'll keep the text white, sizing it and centering it appropriately. We will also add a drop shadow to it. Click Save, then select Regions and keyboard shortcut Ctrl-Alt-A to preview the layout without adornments. And now we will add the last piece to this simple InfoCast, the crawl, with text and animation. With the background as the guide, we will create a crawl object. Double-click the object and select Crawl Quick Editor. Double-click Item 1. Select Text. Rename it as Population and add the New York population information below. As shown in the previous chapter, we will stick a simple text space after the first item to help us with spacing. Then click Add again. Select Animation, and browse to the New York 3D Spin Via file in the Tutorial folder, Animation Files directory. Add another space item after the animation, and then a new text item labeled NY Skyscrapers. And now we are ready to preview the InfoCast. Here's a simple InfoCast playing out, but the cuts between the New York stills are not particularly attractive. What's needed is a transition between each still, which requires us to use the sequencer, leading us into our next chapter.